Hey there. So I saw your post. I thought I'd review it. I do these for fun. I'm a master's console wrecking ball player. I will say I'm not a one trick. I'll swap to Diva if I feel like, or Winston, like if I feel like they could just do the job a bit better. Like let's say I need to control DPS a little more specifically, like a Cassidy or something. Um, and there's like a hog on the field too. I might swap like Malga as well. That said, play the game the way that you want. But if you are one trick and you're one tricking, uh, you really have to either be okay that people are going to tilt at you or just kind of hide some of that stuff. Like for me on tank, I just hide chat. I hide all chat. I don't care what people type. If I don't think it's working or I'm having trouble getting value, I'll make a swap. If my team is like, I don't know, like like make Cassidy, Lucio, Moira, let's say, something like that. Like they're just all set at the brawl and it's a brawl map. I'll make a swap if I think that will get more value. Or if I'm playing into like a really tough comp, like I might auto swap if I think I can do the job better with a different tank. Um, but if you're one tricking, like honestly, until more recently, like I didn't even join voice if I was playing ball because people just always blame the tank in Overwatch. It's like one of the reasons not a lot of people play tank. Uh, and I find chat, especially people just vent their frustrations. It's like a bunch of stuff they don't want to say to your face. And usually the most constructive thing you get is swap tank or like tank diff or tank is dumb or. Um, and it seems to have gotten to you enough to like post a replay asking about it. So just some food for thought, honestly. Um, so that said, let's look at the game a little bit. I don't want to spend too long on this. I think a lot of your strategic decisions are pretty good. You don't feed, um, which is great. You're playing into a comp that doesn't really counter you, like the switch Cass, and I guess the Brig is kind of tough. Um, but uh, but yeah, I was happy with most of the decision making. I think the execution is where you could use some work. So we'll kind of like go a little fast through some things. I think this is a good setup. When you're set up like this, no matter what dive tank you're playing, we're sort of waiting for the cart to get around to here-ish. And really anywhere in this corridor here is really good for us if we have like our cast up here on high ground, we have some supports laying down spam, and we can kind of go in and out up onto this high ground, uh, like engage and disengage sort of at will. And the reason the cart you want a little further along is then they just can't hide from it. They have to expose themselves to these angles here. And you can really you can do a first point hold basically until they blow all their ults in this position like pretty frequently on ball. But we also have to be careful because we're right by their spawn, right? And so they can make a counter pick. So if we start slamming a bunch down here like blindly, we can get booned pretty fast. So I like the setup. Um, and the thing I noticed about this first part is that you're really not using an important ability. And I want to see, I'm going to just play it for you, and I want to see if you can guess what it is. You slam, I would say it's just a little early. You want it, especially when you're in these safe positions, just check in with who can see your slam before you do it. Both the enemy, like who he's slamming into, you probably should have gotten slept there, or boot. Both who we're slamming into and who on your team can shoot, right? Your Venture isn't going in yet, and really you want to be slamming to set up some sort of follow-up from the venture, or slamming sort of right after they go in, right? But anyway, back to the ability we're missing here. Still haven't used it. Still haven't used it. I'm actually gonna turn up the speed here. Still haven't used it. Still haven't used it. A minute into the game. We'll talk a little more about this in a second. Still haven't used it. There we go. So like you go through the first minute of the game without shooting your guns, like at all, right? And like Ball's guns are pretty decent DPS. It's like 120, and then if you get headshots, it's even better. And one of the things that's so great about this high ground is like he has pretty decent range. It's better than Diva from up here, right? So when we're on high grounds like this, we want to look to, if we can, we let the cart come through a little. We shoot a guy and then we try and slam them. Like we can get them like half and then slam them. Or we slam and then shoot, right? And the thing I noticed about the search point is you don't really contest point. You have 1,000 health right now, right? So we need to be looking to either shoot the same guy the Venture's going for, and maybe the other ability you don't use is you don't share your shields. And after we slam here, we still have our grapple. We could grapple out this way. Share our shields with Venture maybe to help them. Shoot the Genji they shot because they have the debuff. Or we could go through with our slam and then spin here and just really separate this Ana. Get this cover and shoot her. Yeah. We have like a lot of health and you're really playing scared here. You didn't even take any damage, right? And we're all the way out. And just letting them card push for free, right? You want to be keeping this card here. Sure, the Winston can go dive. Your team will need to deal with that. But if you're like slamming cart, like if you'd gone back up here or there, slammed the cart and shot this Ana a bit, the Brig's going to turn to try and chase you away or help her Ana. And these divers don't get any support, right? And it's just a Winston. I guess in a Genji over there. But that's what we need to be looking to do is like really just pressuring the supports. And I just notice every time you succeed, it's because you're able to successfully do that, like kind of split their team in half, engage 2 or 3 people at a time without dying. It's not necessarily about killing people. It's about forcing resources and splitting attention. Yeah. So we do that. We're antied, but now she doesn't have nade, right? Does she even have sleep? I think she used that too. You need to be staying in there because you still have like 600 health, right? And what's your shield at? You almost have shield too. You need to just take this slam back here. Okay, she naded you and naded herself. That's her self heal. She missed her sleep too. This Briggs pulled back. Let's just shoot this guy. Right? Why are we fully disengaging? I'm not sure if you just don't know what they have that could kill you. I guess we're worried about the Tracer respawning eventually, but why aren't we just shooting like from even here? We're going up like on this or something and just like trying to push these guys back and prevent them from pushing the cart. Because ultimately our goal with this whole thing, we want to kind of keep it here as much as we can. And then if they get like here-ish, okay, that's fine. Then we keep it in here, right? We're just through it so that our team can hold this high ground. This is a really, really tough choke to push. So like, we kind of trade out the cast and give them a bunch of card progress. That's just like bad mechanics there. I mean, like, if you look at Briggs' point of view here, she sees you coming the entire way. This is the easiest whip shot in the universe, right? We probably just retract or something, like go up. We could get some sort of long grapple and a retract and get like the skybox. And we could look to slam about now, like coming over the roof to be a little harder to track. You can slam like onto a slanted object like this roof and you'll slide for a sec and then come down, and it can mess up if people are trying to like hit a flash or a sleep or something like that on you. Right? But the thing you need to recognize is like either Genji's going to dive or their Tracer's going to dive. They really don't have the damage to force you off the point very quickly, especially when you have your shields, which you have. Right? But here we're just like, we take a bunch of damage and don't get anything for it, right? And here, like, a fight's happening. It's okay to sit kind of passive with low health, like, if you've like won a fight or you've lost a fight, right? Give our supports all charge. But here you really need to be doing something for your team because you really need to stop this cart. It gets really hard to stop once it gets through like past these stalls, the taco stand. So I would be probably, I don't know, you could grapple here and skybox up and go to this mega or something like that. Or even you have your shields, you're about to have your shields, so you could also hide for a sec and then go just try to get a big shields off. Keeping in mind that you'll need to maybe disengage to health pack or something like that. See what happens when we use our guns? But here again, like full health, right? I think, are we afraid of the sleep? Because it doesn't... Right? I feel like you go for... Go back a little. I guess we could go for a wall jump. Maybe that's what you're trying to do. But here, we're just keep separating the supports back. Right? I feel like you could have pressured the supports there a little better. And even here, like, they used a bunch of resources. It's kind of pretty passive. I guess they're like respawn, but I would be maybe looking to set up a little more forward for a sec and just like poke some guys out from over here, shoot them. You can maybe kill the Genji, that kind of thing. So that we're in a spot where just as they're walking through here, you slam them. Or you draw down below, grapple, boop forward, and then slam. The scoop and slam. There, again, like our slam, we need to really use it to make it hard for them to walk through choke. I'm not sure it's worth it really to slam a Winston. I think it's kind of fine. You like stop them up, but you lose your guy, right? Like, I love that slam. And we get big shields and just stay and shoot. And we need to just make sure around now, like they have this huge engage. This maybe should have been something we were thinking about. Let's see if the nano went. Because, like, we could have gotten a big thing of shields and then, like, swung forward here and slammed. Or something like that, and then shared our shields. You also just never share your shields, really. But, yeah, it's okay. We'll lose, I think. And here we can just contest. Yeah, like that. That's good. We can be a little trickier, though. Like, we could grapple here and do a sort of spin to win in the air. That would be hard for them. We could grapple somewhere like here and keep, like, rolling back and forth. I think at this point, you just kind of don't contest long enough. Like, there, I would just spin to win, probably. Especially because you have mines, right? Maybe would have been wasted. Like, let's see what your team gets to.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Yeah. I think it's okay. I would probably just be trying to get away with it. I think Anna blew her sleep already. Oh no. She tried it on your slime. I feel like you have a lot of health. It might have been worth dying there. Just to stall the card out a bit more. I think, like, I love this. I would have waited for her to, like, turn around before popping a slam even. Or just shoot her, right? She's sitting there hard scoped. Like, we just bust some headshots on her and then maybe slam her. We could maybe get the kill. She uses her sleep. 2 back. We have full shields. 3 back. I love it. Now let's look to go in again. I think this disengage is like crazy passive though. Like, Winston and Genji are the only two who can go get you on high ground, right? The Genji doesn't want to be back here, but we also could have just like grappled here. We look pretty much full health. And rolled up here. And really look to contest payload again, like very, very soon. Again, we have the mines, right? And this is the other thing I noticed is like I don't think you get very good mines in general. This one's pretty good. We could have just slammed. Or we could have waited until we have our slam. Just a little mechanics thing, but like after we slam we can look for the bowling move. So if you've done like a long grapple and then a retract, we could U-turn. Just brig like straight into it. So instead of this way, you grapple here, roll through, get fireball, retract, 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 boom. Always look for ways you can roll sort of backwards into your mines. But, you know, we get the supports. I think we're going to win this fight. We could probably have shielded and shared shields with Venture. They did almost die. There's just a couple times where you can just look to do it. If you don't quite get how it can help you, I'd recommend Yido's unranked to GM really highly because he uses it like quite a lot. Like, I didn't understand how useful it was till I watched that. But especially when your shields are about to tick out, it's like almost no cost to just sharing them because your team gets a little bit of health. Here, I like the idea. Again, we could share shields with Adventure. We just kind of don't use them for a long time. There, you could just keep the grapple and you'd be a lot safer. You could do a couple of spins around and then exit like high, or straight out this way or something like that. Right. Versus this comp, you kind of wanna, you're kind of like pulling the pasta apart. So you wanna we'll look at some parts where you succeed, but you want to kind of like push some people away and then come back on some people, and push some people away and then come back on some people. I like the slam, it's a little early. I'd just be checking on who's looking at it, and I'd really let the Winston walk a bit more. Because really, like, whenever a tank walks forward, you're waiting for the guys who are following them. So, like, we're here. You see Genji, okay, he's usually going to be first. We see Winston, he's going to be first. Right? Whereas you wait for their, like, big Ana to walk through. Maybe the Winston even jumps up. Now you slam, and they can't just, like, gang up on you, because, like, there's only two of them. Maybe Brig pops all, but then it doesn't benefit as many people. You get your shields and share them with the Venture, and you guys just clean up, right? You seem a little slow with your retracts when you're using them in a fight. Here at 100% be sharing my shield with my Venture. They're ulting, right? It's a little like Diva, like you always want to matrix someone who's ulting. Again, we're just a little too early. When you're hanging from here, check what your team's doing, first of all. We didn't look back. And second of all, you can roll up on here, release, and then grapple again and swing through. Maybe push the brig through and slam. But mainly I don't think we really know where all of their team is, and especially the Ana, who we're most worried about, right? For the cast. Get the shield serum. This is just kind of a blind panic ult. And that's why it doesn't really do much. It separates the Winston, but he has his ult. Right? They're kind of like, whatever. We're just a little early with the ult. I think the placement's fine. But you want to let things happen a bit more. You kind of just like mind in front of them, and they do want to be there eventually, but they don't need to be there, so they just kind of clear it up and go slow. There, when the Genji ults, I would have probably made the read. So, like, from this position. Okay. So we come up here. We noticed, like, their Brig cast, Ana kind of pushes cart, and their Genji Winston dives. So, like, Ana's staying low ground, which means you can't really heal the Winston. He has to either go all the way in and go to this Mega, or back off into line of sight of her, right? So the thing about that is, like, diving on cart right now, if you can contest a long time and they can't really clear you, that could be a good thing if we go with our Venture and try to kill the same thing that they are, or set up a kill. But it doesn't do much to this Winston Genji because they're already not expecting heals, if that makes sense. So honestly, I kind of think the call here would have been to grapple here and like boop slam this and share shields. I think you could have maybe messed up the Nano Blade. especially if he gets stuck on the outside here because of the movement lockout. Um, it's like a split-second judgment, but yeah, basically it's either that or help trade with the venture. And really just like contest the cart as long as possible. Like if we're gonna do this or shoot, a much better rollout would have been to slam, come over here and try to turn that Cassidy, right? And share shields again. There, the other thing you can do, especially because sleep just went off. If you grapple here, you can go up and then retract on the way up, and you'll keep fireballing and go under and retract, and you can do like a 360, like a spin to win but vertically here to keep contesting the cart and just be really annoying. I think that's a play because they nanobladed. Like there we could have used our shields, right? We took a bunch of damage. What is that from? The Cass. So we're here. You just waited a second longer for your shields. Or for your slam, you could have just slammed and shield your shield slam. I don't mind that you pull back after having all that happen to you, but we probably could have gotten a good stall there. Another good stall spot would be like when the cart's here-ish. You can also grapple one of these corners and do like a... It's hard to explain, but like it's like a spin. It's similar to the bridge spin. It's another bridge spin, but it's like a little more on an angle like this. We could go get the other Mega behind us, like in our spawn. Here we're just trying to build mines and stop the cart. And here we go, like, this is where it starts to work, because you're like pushing the people back. Now we just mine cart and jump up on top of it and mine it. That's fine. And we're looking to share our shields, get big shields and share them.
Score 0-1. Switching sides. Initiating match.
So yeah, I think the things to improve in your game is like when to shoot. Probably like a bit smoother movement in general, and like a little more spins and turns with your grapples would really help you. And like using retract to like a bit better. I'm wondering what like key you have it bound to and if that works for you. I just switched mine to actually primary fire, which I avoided because like I use it sometimes to like stop rolling and it does mess me up, but it gives me such better control over it, and now I use it like all the time. But yeah, shooting a bit more, playing around shields, sharing your shields, and then like smoother grapples and better ults, I think will just like help you climb a lot more, because for the most part, like you don't feed and you make mostly good decisions about when to go, sometimes a bit early, because you don't take that extra second to just like check. Patience is a little hard to cultivate on tanks sometimes. So there, I think the rollout is not the best. Let's look at that again. Grapple there. This is all fine. Your venture kind of went early. One thing we could do from here, probably should have done is just check what's going on. Right? We really don't want anyone on these buildings. And then, other than that, we're usually rolling out to these guys here. And maybe taking a moment to clear here. So a lot of time I'll do this back route. But our venture's like set up. So we could have also probably just like grappled here or something like that and then gone in with them. Like a little more directly. It's a little on them for not looking at you. But, you know, the way teamwork happens, really, and why you don't need voice chat is like you can see each other through the walls, right? And you have an idea of what they're going to try and do. We could have shared our shields. It would have been really tight, though. But the other thing is, like, if we are going to roll through here, we could get a long grapple, and then we could, like, retract. Because really, we're looking to boop someone kind of here-ish off and slam them down there. Or boop someone here and, like, ledge slam. Or, I guess, wall jump if you can do it. You can use that corner. That would probably make it easier. Or hold on to your grapple in such a way that you can get a pile drive and just, like, really mess up the people here. Clear this sight line so they can't spam your team while they're trying to push the cart. Like, that's good. It just happened late. Like, a cooldown cycle slower than it should have. But we still, like, haven't used our shields, right? And we could be shooting people. I don't mind that. Yeah, kind of like that. Share your shields with your divers. I don't even mind that. Like, holding onto your grapple until you have a good shot to slam, great. But we get held up here. Share your shields. Get some shields. Share them. And part of the reason we get held up here, because this fight's going to keep going, is like, we're kind of just pushing them forward, which I kind of want to do into our team. And it's just, it doesn't prevent them from just like basically zapping this choke and making it hard for your team to walk through. We need to be like actually pressuring this guy. Or like finding some way to like maybe grapple here and do one of those back and forth like blender kind of things. So there's a lot of damage in this area. But really, we want to give Brig like a reason to turn around, and maybe Winston to think about turning around to make it harder. Like that grapple doesn't really, we don't get much value from that, right? Like, just get a high one, boop up, and then slam. We can build mines maybe to help break through this. We could grapple here, that's the one I was thinking of. And you can kind of spin the win in this area. That one's really good. Right, we take a bunch of damage and don't really do that much. And Winston can sit point a lot better than you can. It's just that he can't peel you like at all. No need to slam there, it's just kind of waste. Grapple, retract. So at least we can slam cart. We're probably looking to engage these guys though, and then spin the win around this maybe to make it hard for them to hold this position. Again, the wisdom won't be able to hold cart if we just eliminate his support, right? We can grapple here and we can spin a win. Right, we're just kind of letting them trade out. And that mines is just like, honestly, I thought maybe you were gonna get full health after you did this. I can see why you saw them in, kind of, but it's area denial, and this is just not a valuable area to your team. Like, they want to be on card here, and they want to be able to hide behind this choke. And you're having trouble breaking through it, right? So when all it sells, build alt, and then mine the place they want to be, and there's mines behind them. All of a sudden, they can't back up away from your team. That is just gonna like pincer them, right? And honestly, you could go for even a high one, so it spreads out a bit. Well, we just like took like a buttload of damage, and we didn't really need to, and now we can't go even though they don't have a tank. We get big shields, share them with our team, maybe like when they're the takeout. Spin to win or something. Again, this kind of area denial is going to be your best friend. Instead of this high kind of like scoop and boop sort of thing. Like, we're just not really having an impact on anyone right now. So this is kind of the second place that I wanted to just like spend some time looking at. The thing is, because you didn't die, they are like back because they're looking for you, right? Like there. This kind of thing is what you needed to do like the first 2 or 3 fights of this choke. We're slamming the back of their team. We're doing it a bit early, like our team isn't exactly trying to walk forward right now. But look at all these cooldowns so you get out. There's sleep, a bash, 4 people turning to you. Is Winston turning to? Yeah. Right. We need to do this earlier when our team was about to try and walk through here. If these guys were more disciplined, and like up a bit further, you wouldn't have succeeded. But there we go. This is fine. And we're shooting Niana. We're shooting a brig. It's set up a nade. We go up and come back. Well, this could be just a little quicker with some better mechanics. That gets better if they retract right. It's a good idea. But, like, it doesn't even matter. We're losing some guys. We made so much space there. Now we have our mines and we set points. This is good. And I would strongly consider, I'm not sure it's like correct play, but I would strongly consider like a grapple here and try to get a retract and try to get mines like right here. And really like mine to kill Brig and or Anna. Because they're just in a stupid spot. I don't mind the high ground though. It's fine. Right, he just can't push you out. And we're right back up. If he rolled through or slammed, you probably would have got him. This mines is good. Why is it good? Well, is it? It's kind of early. It's good placement for if the cart was like at the next corner, because this is where they want to stand and contest. I think it's alright in that it separates Winston. Yeah, it's fine. I'm not sure you did it to kill Winston. We can sleep out.
Ejector circuits engaged. Reaper.
We can share shields there. Or use them there, that's fine. But why are we leaving? We slam. I think your slam just could have been more back here. And you could have left like this way, maybe, and tried to play ring around Rosie and shoot the Ana, especially because you hear the sleep go off, right? Like, she can't sleep. And then all of a sudden, we're like keeping their supports just even like not even out on the field. Like, can't help that guy, can't help that guy. They're just dealing with you. The Winston has to decide, is he going to help peel the ball? Does he have to use bubble? Is he going to go help with his DPS, which is what he wants to do? Right? It's just like kind of passive. And here, like, we just didn't scout. I love coming back up here. But like, if we had shields and could go share our shields, like that would be fine. But these guys are all walking forward. They want to go forward. So you booping them forward, it just kind of helps them run over your team. It helps them get closer to their Winston, right? But this guy's all alone. We just wait for the Ana to walk up a little. We shoot her, slam her. We could probably get a kill. She used her sleep too, right? We try and get her nade so that she's not nading our team. We could shoot her a bit from there. I don't mind this to build mines, so we just need to not overstay our welcome. It's fine. You're kind of contesting point. I think this works out for you okay, because you're about to push their team back, like, and split their team. I probably would have, on my rollback, like, grappled this thing and gone up to here to, like, try and figure out where exactly I should slam and to see what my team was doing. Yeah, because we're just all the way out. We're not applying more pressure. If you're going to do a roll through like that, your goal is to get these guys back and looking backwards. So why not just hug this corner and shoot them a bit? Right? We can actually wall jump this, or we can retract grapple up, or swing back, boop everyone forward, and slam them in front of this choke, right? Because our team is the one walking forward for an engage or something like that. Like, if we had been harassing this Honor, Reaper doesn't get slapped here. You're gonna probably win this fight just from ults, but see, this works because now your team is aggressive and they're going in, and there's a nano, and now we're pushing a couple people back, right? We separated their team, and we just needed a shoot or something there. We could have been staying in that fight, and our Reaper probably wouldn't have died. We'll like to share shields with this. I would probably like to just mine. And mine the box, like at a kind of high mine the box, so people can run to it from the Genji blade, and they just can't contest. Retract grapple, oh, retract in mine. Like whatever, that's fine. So anyway, yeah, I would just look at, especially like first point, for both attack and defense, I think was really like the place to look at for where to improve, which is just like you need to shoot more and do some sort of like a tracer would, like some short flank pressure a bit more often, especially when you have like a million health. you need to look at your team. Like when you engage, sometimes I think it's a little blind. You don't know if your team is walking forward yet, and you want to time your pressure a little bit more. Um, for mines, we want to be really sure that we're mining a place that we're denying an area. So either we're mining a place they want to like walk into or back up to, or we're splitting their team somehow at the mines. Um, and then finally, like, or sorry, and then with grapple, I think just we could use our retract a bit better, a bit more often. We can look for more places where we can like spin around a bit without just spinning to win. It's just like spin a couple times and roll a different direction kind of thing, just to deny more areas. And then finally, adaptive shields. I think you need to look for opportunities to share them. I tried to point them out, but it's actually a really strong ability. I know people on his subreddit like diss it a fair amount, but it's actually really good and flexible. And I think very slept on as part of the rework. Both the retract and the adaptive shields are really strong, and I actually don't think, at least for me personally, but I think a lot of Wrecking Ball players just really haven't hit the skill ceiling for the character. Yeah, it made you not have to rely on like wall jumps and stuff like that um, as much, but the control you can get on your grapples and the kind of movement that you can do now at the retract, if you like really good at it and practice it, is absolutely bonkers. Some stalls and stuff. So again, if you haven't checked it out, really recommend a Yeetle on Rank to GM because it kind of showcases all that stuff. He's pretty smooth with it, but he also explains what he does. Unlike like Chasm, who's just kind of like a freak. So hope that helps out. If you have questions, let me know. And yeah, good luck balling.